Welcome back. Canada Post workers are continuing to strike after the federal government announced some sweeping changes it plans for the Crown Corporation. Now, there are concerns raised on if municipalities were involved enough in the changes planned. Joining us now is Tim Tierney, Ottawa councillor and Vice President of the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. Tim, good afternoon and thank you for your time. Talk to us about the concerns that local municipalities have with the changes that the federal government has made to Canada Post's mandate and services.
Well, thank you for having me on today. And first of all, let me speak on behalf of Canadian municipalities across the country from coast to coast to coast. We understand that Canada Post is a really essential service. It's providing to small and northern and remote communities. So, we understand they have to modernize, but at the same time, we want to be at the table. And at this point, we haven't been. We feel it's quite critical. There's a big vulnerable sector of Canadians that really rely heavily on Canada Post. And if we're unable to actually make sure that they get their goods and deliveries, it really impacts people like seniors, people with disabilities, and those living in poverty that really do require access to that mail system.
Have you officially been able to raise these concerns with the Government of Canada?
At this point, we've outreached to the Prime Minister's office. Certainly, FCM does have great relations with our federal partners, but we do want to actually have a seat at the table. And just to even add, as we approach Christmas season, we're seeing local impacts here in Ottawa. Organizations like the Ottawa Mission that really rely on a big percentage of donations now are scrambling, worried they won't even be able to receive checks. People like to still mail checks these days to be able to contribute to help out those needs. These are the small aspects of a vulnerable population that we don't think about. Certainly a lot of us don't go to a mailbox anymore, but there's a great segment of the population, and having municipalities at the table is critical.
That's a good point about donations, and also the fact a lot of charities across the country are also getting affected because of this strike. And with this strike underway right now, Tim, tell us what's at stake for local governments.
Well, certainly, obviously, we look across. Nobody wants to see anybody unemployed. At the same time, we do recognize that there has to be some modernization. What does that look like? How can municipalities provide their feedback on what is critical? Is it so many days a week? Is it weekends? Are there different elements that we see that are really critical? It could come from everything, like I mentioned, donations to, it could be critical medical supplies that have to be delivered that frankly, would be unaffordable by doing it by other means. So we really have a lot to think about, and we just simply want to be at the table, be part of the discussion, and the olive branches there, we certainly hope they take it.
And what are you doing in terms of, mitigating the impact of this postal strike? Are there any separate measures you've undertaken right now?
Yeah, I think municipalities across the country, like I said, we represent 2,000 member municipalities. We're using a lot of the tools we have now as local councillors and mayors to be able to distribute through physical drops, because we don't have our mail service right now, another major impact on communications, but also using our social media lists, a lot of our senior centers, our food cupboards. We're connecting directly with the people. This is where municipalities truly are the front door of the people. It's great the feds like to set policy along with the province, but we are the front door on what people come to, and that's why we absolutely need that seat at the table.
Tim Tierney, Ottawa councillor and Vice President of the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. Tim, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.